Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years.
The Celtics swarm the floor. It is the end of a 22-year odyssey. It is the very definition of full circle. It is banner 17.
No icing. For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And the title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Good morning, listeners. Welcome into episode 23 of a New Era podcast. My name is Hanson, better known as Freddie online, and I'm joined this morning by my dad, the OG Fred. Dad, would you like to say hello to the listeners?
I always have to laugh. You're joined this morning. Again, I feel like I could be cut out at any moment in this podcast.
I mean, possibly. I don't know. We're not going to hold any.
I mean, at first, well, I don't want to jump the gun, but obviously you're sitting next to someone who I feel that could take my job at any moment. I'm a little worried about it. But first and foremost, good morning, listeners. I mean, we're taking this to the next freaking level here. We're taking this podcast. That intro that you just had, dude, freaking chills.
Yeah, new intro this week. New intro this week that was playing right before this. Finally, took us 23 episodes, but we finally got to that point.
23, and don't want to jump the gun like I usually do, but we might have to quickly change that intro because man, our Celtics are looking freaking hot. We might have to change that.
I was thinking about this weekend. But
yeah,
we could talk about that in a little bit. You talk about next to me, well-respected member in the daily fantasy sports community, the man himself, Roto Radar Rhymer. How you doing today, this morning, man?
Doing good, man. Had a really good weekend with the boys. Decided kind of last minute, like, hey, I could jump on the podcast. We can talk some sports. I like you said, talk about daily fantasy sports a lot, but it's always there's nothing better than just shooting the shit and talking about real life sports and the outlook of teams. And it's definitely been a fun little basketball weekend with the finals going on, and excited to talk about it, man.
Hell yeah. Not even just the finals. We watched a lot. I know we talked about it last weekend, Dan. We watched a lot of college baseball this weekend. And some of those games were electric.
And I know the topic is in college baseball, but like I think it was the first weekend where I've really watched a whole bunch, and it was a blast. It was so I'm honestly gonna go home and watch. I know we didn't win. I saw that this morning,
dude. We had one parlay yesterday, Dad. Texas A&M -2.5, under 13.5 or 15.5. Evansville, Tennessee, which just barely hit after they were killing them, and then we had Kentucky -1.5. They were up 2-0. Oregon State tied at 2-2. Not even on any hits. They were walked home 2 runs. They ended up winning only 3-2. We thought we were going to go to bed and wake up to a parlay win. But that didn't happen.
That did not happen. It was so close, though.
Hey, one other quick thing about what we're doing here, taking it to the next level. We actually now have our own YouTube channel.
We do. Thanks to the OG Fred here. We got all of our episodes. I think all of them. They might still be processing.
2 more processing this morning.
But outside of those 2 more, we are finally on YouTube. RSS makes a nice little screen and video thing that they gave to us. So
yeah, because you don't want to see us on video yet. No.
Yeah, no. A New Era podcast just on YouTube, like it is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. And hopefully we can reach a little better audience over there and try to broaden our horizons a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I like like you said, I like the little logo that they put in the back. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, I got a peek at that intro that Freddie's been talking about. Man, that thing's gas.
Dude,
I was like, that gave me chill. Like, I'm not even a Boston fan at all, and that gave me chills. Like, that was freaking awesome.
Oh, what did you just say, John?
I'm actually mostly against most Boston sports. As a Lakers fan, as a Yankees fan, I am not a Boston fan whatsoever.
And you like
the other side
49ers.
Of the with me.
And you like the 49ers too.
I like the 49ers as well. Yes, I do. They're not really like
they're not.
I don't feel any animosity towards the Patriots.
And I root for the Niners. I root for the Niners in the Super Bowl and everything.
But so what I'm trying to get at is I'm at least safe. You're not taking my job.
You are safe in me not taking your job. I don't think I would be a very good representative of the New Era podcast because I think I'd be
And Boston sports. Yeah, you'd be
Yeah.
shit.
It would just be me
Yeah.
yelling at him every fucking morning.
Yeah, it
Like,
would just be me and Hanson getting into yelling matches every single week. While I'm sure it would be entertaining, it wouldn't be a lot of fun to listen to.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we can move on here with, the first piece of business. Like you mentioned, the Celtics are looking good. The best game that they had so far was game 1 of the finals. What was this? Thursday, I believe, around 8:30. Just an absolute beautiful performance by the boys. I think they were up, 37-20 at the end of the first. They had one of the best. I don't even know what it was. It was like 30 seconds, a minute and a half of that last first quarter. That was just beautiful basketball.
And I think a lot of it was, and we talked about this the week before, what was Porzingis going to bring to us and how much time? I think we hit it on the head. He only did 21 minutes, but came out defensively and just shooting. I mean, 21 minutes, 20 points, 3 blocks, 6 rebounds, and all defensive rebounds. I mean, we needed him.
And he looked just so good right off the jump. Like we said, I knew we said his minutes were going to be limited a little bit. I think we said somewhere from 15 to 18. You said up to like 18 to 22. So you kind of nailed that.
Yeah, thank you.
But, I mean, how can we expect him to come out and put up the 11 out of his 20 that he did in the first? And really, when you do that, when you come back from injury, even off the bench, doing that in the first, I think it really just elevated all the rest of the players around him to be like, oh, shit. All right, we're back. We're back to the level that we want to play at. And even with Tatum having a shitty shooting night throughout the first 2 games like he has, Jalen, really efficient night, 7 for 12, 2 for 6 from 3, 6 for 11 from the line. Not the best, but 22 points there. Derek White with 15, Drew Holiday with 12. Drew's just continuing to have these Drew games throughout the playoffs that we're loving to see. And Al just doing what Al did, even with limited minutes compared to last couple series. In 30 minutes, he's 11, 7, and 3, 2 blocks. No turnovers there. So who would you say? I want to go through this because I think we talked about this in like the Eastern Conference Finals where Jaylen Brown won the MVP. We knew it could have been Jalen or Jason, but in terms of production and the impact you make to the team, I was making an argument that possibly Drew could have won Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Yeah. Now we get 2 games into this final series, and I'm almost going down the same lane. The media of course, they want it to be Brown or Tatum here. But if we really want to look at the definition of the most valuable player, the most valuable asset to your team, I mean, how can you talk somebody off of Drew Holiday being the most impactful guy for us through these 2 games?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was just going to say something, try and steer this conversation or interrupt you, but it's Porzingis. And I will tell you why. We talked about back with the Bruins, and when we said that the team plays differently with Swayman in the net. Heck, when I coached soccer, and when the team had your sister in net, they just played different. There is something about certain players that just brings the whole team around them, and they just play looser or more fun, and that's Porzingis. I mean, these guys, the dude is freaking smiling as he goes along. I mean, the team just plays so looser. Nothing against Al Horford. I mean, in his defense, and he did very well. There was a graphic, I think everyone he was guarding except maybe Luka was 0 for whatever. Luka only had 1 basket at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So, Al, but it's just different with Porzingis. And then the crowd is so much different with him. He is right now, with limited minutes, putting up first game 20 and 21. And then this last game, he had again 23 minutes, I think it was. Yeah, 12 points, 4 rebounds. It's him.
I mean, I like where you're coming from. Like I said, I think we know it's going to have to go to Brown or Tatum anyways, just because those are the names. You know, those are the guys that are supposed to carry us the series. You talk about them playing looser. Would you say you're going to pinpoint it more offensively looser or defensively looser?
I think, well, yeah, I mean, offensively, but I think the offense can be played looser because of that defensive work that he does. It just transitions, and they have more transitional opportunities, those open threes, because the opposing team is trying to get back and then running, trying to cover, and you have that open person. I think because of his defense, it relates to an easier offense for us.
I like that for sure. So I'll bring you in here, Josh. I was just
gonna say, Josh, are you like impressed with my shit?
I dude, so like oh man, it's so tough for me because I feel like the whole sports media industry was really pushing this Mavericks team as a team that could compete here after what they've done in the Western Conference. But at the end of the day, I think you're seeing what kind of everyone knew coming into this, right? Is that the Eastern Conference was far more superior than what the Western Conference is bringing in. And the Celtics are the best team that we've seen all season long, all around talent-wise. I think, honestly, like what's really impressed me is the defense is tremendously good. And I think that speaks a little bit to your point about Porzingis. I think Porzingis is helping them a ton because I think if it was just Al out there having to suffer for 38 minutes, I think it'd be a lot worse. But Porzingis being able to come in, take up some of those minutes, it's been electric, man. I will side with Freddie on this. I don't even think it's that far-fetched to say that if Drew Holiday has like another game sometime in this series, like he did last night, where he gets the double-double, I think he was the point score leader
last night. Let me check. I'm pretty sure we're looking at it here.
Yeah,
26.
He had 26. No one, only Brown had above 20. I think you could really see Drew and shot 11. I mean, talk about efficiency. 14. 11 for 14, dude. Like, and the double with rebounds, not even with assists, with rebounds. Like, I think you could really make the case that Drew Holiday is making the biggest impact, and holding Kyrie in back-to-back games under 20 is massive. I think the only way you guys lose a game at the end of the day is if Luka and Kyrie put up a LeBron and Kyrie game where they end up both having over 35 points in a game. But I think because of how good the defense is and how good of a defender Drew Holiday is, it's going to be tremendously hard to see the Mavericks end up doing that.
And you say like a Kyrie and LeBron game, almost. I thought if there was going to be any, that possibly would have been last night. I mean, we saw Luka with 20, 18 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And just Kyrie couldn't get it going. But I know we were talking about, I think you said what, Dad, last week? Celtics in 5?
5.
And I said 6. And we got through those first 2 games, and I've got 2 bets. Well, now only one because one died out last night. But I've got a bet on in 6. It has Dallas winning the next 2 and then us winning 5-6. Man, before game 2, we were sitting there watching, and then sweep was at plus 750, and I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. So defensive, and to Josh's point, I mean, this defense is been suffocating. The Mavericks have played 19 games so far. They have scored under 100 points 6 times, and out of those 6 times, 2 of them have been to us.
Is that in the playoffs, you're saying?
In the playoffs.
Man. Yeah, I mean, haven't even brushed 100 yet in the series that you need it the most. Now, granted, we've only put up 107, 105 too, but that also can go to the point of, like I made last week going into this series, like your betting totals and everything. We're so inflated last series for the Celtics because of the fact that they were playing the Pacers, and the Pacers wanted to pace up the game, and the Celtics can do that too. They can keep up with it offensively, obviously, like we saw. But a lot of people were talking ahead of time about this is going to be a great like defensive series too, because the Mavericks throughout the playoffs were holding, especially last series, the Timberwolves in check, Anthony Edwards in check. They like to play that slower pace, and that's what the Celtics probably prefer too. They like to get their looks. They like to, use the full 24, try to play 5-on-5 like they've done. And obviously it showed that offensively we can stick up with them, but defensively too, we're standing our ground and not feeling weird out there by any means.
So, Josh made the point, everyone else is saying this, that the Celtics have been the best team in the NBA so far this year. I don't want to call them the best team. I want to call them the most complete team.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there too. I think overall
we could outscore you or defensively. Yep.
1 through 8. And I'm talking about, your 8-man rotation that you have for your playoff rotation is I think Peyton Pritchard could be a starter on probably, I don't know, probably 90% of other teams at this point right now. I think Sam Hauser would be a 30-minute player, a 30-minute winning 3-and-D type of guy on 90% of teams right now. I think that obviously you guys have Porzingis on the bench, but overall 1 through 8, you guys are very easily the most complete team. One of the most complete teams we've seen in a really, really long time. I mean, it's been a while since you've seen a team this complete. I would say almost have to compare it to Golden State Warriors complete with KD and stuff. And even that team had their faults, but it's a really good team. It's a really good team.
You bring up Golden State, and yes, you had tremendous superstars.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, obviously we're waiting for a championship to be able to say that Jason and Jalen are tremendous superstars. But everyone else, I mean, obviously you saw we had no first, second team all-stars,
We had Jason.
Jason was first team. Yeah. Do you think, though, if they end up going either a sweep or, again, 5 or commanding win in these finals, that this makes the NBA look and change and go, we need, 8 to 10 deep players on a team instead of this, big 3 shit? I mean,
I think there's going to be a world where the big 3 stuff ends up falling out of line, and you start seeing teams focus on these 2-star teams. For you guys, it's Brown and Tatum, and focus on putting really good role players around them. That's the best way to win. Most of the teams that are winning right now are winning under that philosophy. I mean, even the Mavericks, they're a 2-star team with Luka and Kyrie, and even if they haven't shown up this finals, they still surrounded themselves with really good role players all the way around.
And so you mentioned a sweep, a dominant end to this series.
Yes, but if that doesn't happen, we can cut it out, right?
I'm going to keep that in there. But I saw this thing on Celtics Twitter this weekend. So as of right now, this team is 78-20. If they happen to sweep and go 80-20, do we have to start considering this team as a historically good NBA team up there with the greatest single seasons?
Why? Oh, go ahead, Free. Or go ahead, Jamie.
I would first, obviously, emotionally, yes, but I wonder if you need another year, I mean, there has been historically great teams, the Chicago Bulls, but they led up to it and then did it. Golden State, right? Led up to it and then had that great team. I don't think you've ever had an amazing team just all of a sudden do it. The 86 Boston Celtics, they led up to it and then had that great year. I mean, you could kind of say, yes, have the Celtics led up, but we, haven't made as many finals and stuff. I would think if this was a good year and then they were doing this next year, you would say yes. Do I make any sense at my point, guys? Do you understand what I'm?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I think my thing is that you will never see this Celtics team regarded as one of the best ever to do it. Even though I think they deserve the consideration, I think the only reason you won't see it is because you don't have that number one star. Like you mentioned, like Bulls, Jordan, like I think with every one of those teams that you consider some of the best to ever do it, you have that number one guy. And it's not any disrespect towards the team. I think they're playing really well. I think with Tatum shooting so poorly, though, you don't have that number one guy. And because of that, it'll be something that they won't be considered one of those top teams. They can be considered one of the most complete teams for sure. I just feel like without having that number one star perform in every single game, you're not going to see this Celtics team regarded as that, even though they should probably.
Well, then maybe this is a better question then. If they go on, even if it's within 4 or in 6, is this team better than the 2008 team?
Yes.
You already think so?
Yes.
Okay. You? I know you saw that.
I think I would agree. I think I would agree that they are.
And again, the point being, you had, the start of the big three.
Yeah. True. They also went we looked into this a couple episodes ago. They also went 64 and 18, but I think they also went to like 3 game 7s within their playoff run.
Yeah.
First round Eastern Conference Finals, and we beat the Lakers in 6 that year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then it was the first 3 rounds, and then went to game 6 in the finals. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a cool comparison.
Now,
I saw it on like Bleacher Report betting or something.
Now, you could probably say that the 2008 team was more important to this team right now because they're the ones with those trades got you Brown and Tatum.
True.
No.
How's that for a thing?
That's a really good point.
You needed that 2008 team to get us to this 2024 team.
You just got to imagine the Nets are just kicking themselves looking at this series right now. Yeah. They must absolutely hate this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about game 1, absolutely dominant performance. How much of last night's game did you watch, Dad?
I watched till a little over halftime, and then I went night.
Yeah, too old, too old to finish the game. It was a good one though. It was a really good one. And Josh for sweating out a parlay that we lost by the hook by Jaylen Brown only finishing with 21 points and not 22 because the Mavs just decided with 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter, only down 7, they just don't want to foul and they just wanted to get to Dallas.
Yeah, it was down 7. One of the most egregious head coaching calls I think I've ever seen in a finals performance was the idea not to foul at the end of the game. I think you are in the finals. You are in the games to decide a champion of the NBA, and the fact that you let the time run out on that last possession is just like it's a huge miscue from Jason Kidd to not. Even if it's unlikely that you end up coming back with the foul game, you've still got to try it at that point. Like it's to decide the champion of the NBA, you're not going to foul to end the game
when you're already down 1.
You're only down by 7. Like it's not like you're down by 15. It is egregious to me. I was telling Hanson this last night. I'm going to be very interested in sports talks today because I want to see if anyone else is calling out Jason Kidd on this because I think it is so silly that they did not go to a fouling game once Drew got the rebound.
25.1 seconds when Drew grabbed that rebound, and then they let us have a shot clock turnover.
That's what, like 3 trips to
3 or 4,
3-point shots, hoping they miss a few. It is 100% doable.
You think about it, even if it's 3 seconds of an inbound and then a foul, that's 12 seconds, and you're already down to 13 seconds left in the game still, and that's 4 trips.
No,
I don't see it. I don't know.
So when I was walking one of the dogs this morning, I was thinking just about the coaches. And I'm glad you brought that up, Josh, because and this is probably really before you guys time, or I mean, not before your time, but you guys were in the cradle or not really watching basketball when Jason Kidd was doing his shit. You
I
know,
remember Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, great point guard. Could distribute, but then I mean, he's bounced around coaching wise, and
Yeah.
for Joe Mazzulla to be doing again, building the complete team. I don't know if you have heard part of my takes interview with him. I mean, the guy is just fascinating.
Yeah.
And
He's also weird.
Yes, weird and
But-
fascinating, and how
So
he's
was
just
Stevens, right? Like Stevens was weird too.
Stevens was odd.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
these oddball coaches are kind of like the way to go in NBA right
Especially
now.
now when you get an oddball GM and an oddball coach.
Yeah.
When Stevens moved into that role, that I think they just complement each other so well, so much better than Udoka did in 2022.
Yeah.
it's just how they're motivating this complete team. And I don't think Jason Kidd can motivate. He is just letting his two superstars try and win. And oh, by the way, if I have to make a adjustment switch here or whatever, which is, kind of, I guess, unfortunate as much as I like to be a coach. A lot of these coaches are just trying to let their best players play instead of making adjustments and motivation, which I know this is just going to be quick little throw in there, but since you already mentioned you love your Lakers, it would be really interesting to see how Dan Hurley could potentially motivate.
I was telling Hanson this on Friday when the Dan Hurley stuff initially came out. I am so excited if he ends up being our coach. I think it is finally a move for the future instead of hiring a LeBron coach to end up just being buddy-buddy with LeBron. I think that Hurley is going to be such a good addition if we get him. And I have a very strong feeling that he ends up just staying at UConn and trying to three-peat instead.
Because what was that quote we heard yesterday?
The quote we heard yesterday was he's definitely considering the deal that the Lakers gave him, but he's also really excited about what he has at UConn with the already two-peat. So like the wording already threw me off. The amount of money we're going to give him is massive. Like, I'm sure they also insured him. Like, yeah, you're going to have a good say in what this team's going to bring to the table every year too.
What?
I don't know, man. I'm hoping, but I feel like I'm on a little bit of copium right now with the Dan Hurley talks.
This would be this is going to sound like a really weird take, but again, Josh, this is your first time here with us, and Anton knows I have some really crazy weird takes. But if LeBron was not on the Lakers, if it was, AD and whatever, and maybe some other pretty cool guy, Anthony Edwards, I think he would take it.
I think so too. I don't know. I'm honestly under the camp of like, I'm sure this isn't what a lot of Lakers fans would say, but like, I don't care if LeBron doesn't return to the Lakers. It is the end all be all I honestly kind of hope he doesn't return to the Lakers. I hope we move on and start planning for future years, because every year it feels like, what are we going to do after LeBron leaves? What the heck is going to happen to this team?
That's always the narrative.
That's always the narrative. And every year we end up re-signing him to a 1-year extension or a 2-year deal. And it's just this charades that we play. I hope they let him leave, maybe make a splash in free agency to make this like a middle of the line contending team, maybe a Paul George, maybe go trade for Trae Young, something along those lines. But I don't even think you need one of those. I think at the end, you should really be focusing on what the future is for the Lakers, because I think a lot of these great teams have the next few years on lock, whether it be what the Celtics are bringing to the table, whether it be what the Thunder are bringing to the table, the Timberwolves, even the Mavs to a certain extent, if they find some more key pieces around Luka and Kyrie. Like, I think there are so many other teams well equipped. The Nuggets too, obviously with Jokic.
Yeah.
There are so many other teams well equipped to take on the NBA right now compared to what the Lakers have. I almost feel like it's smarter to retool now and let LeBron leave. It would be a massive hit as well. I mean, he's been a Laker for 4 years now, 5 years, and so it's been nice to have the greatest player in the world on our team, but I just feel like at some point you've got to look at the future. I'm also one of those sports fans where I think it is go all in or hold assets. There should be no in between of, trying to be that middling team. And that's what the Lakers are in the regular season. They're just a middling team that's going to continue to get play-in seeds or barely get the 6th seed.
I love it.
Well, we see 6th seed, but the Mavericks are the 6th seed.
Yeah.
They did make it through.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's a testament to, even if they are a middling team, how, like you mentioned, the Eastern Conference was just levels above the West this year. It could be like that again next year, where even with a LeBron or without a LeBron, the Lakers, if they middle around and then you get to the playoffs, anything could happen in a 7-game series.
Well, 2 points. One, I think we have the thumbnail. Celtics up 2-0 on our way to championship, and LeBron's off of the Lakers. That's the thumbnail.
There you go. Yeah.
Second point I want to make is, there's always been that talk the West is better than the East. The Celtics didn't play anyone this year. Do you think, though, the West is still a greater conference, and that the Mavs, yes, a 6 seed and middle place type of team, but they had to go deeper into each series than the Celtics ever had? And maybe it's just attrition, and now we're tired. I mean, Luka, oh my God. Get rid of those damn fucking black sneakers. You look slower than you really are. I mean, I can't stand those black sneakers.
Dude, it's funny because something that we always said on our podcast was Kyle Anderson, who plays for the T-Wolves. We always called him slow-mo because he always looked like he was moving in slow motion when he played. Yeah. Luka is like Kyle Anderson, but actually good at shooting the ball. Like that's what I think of Luka. He is intentionally like a slow player, but at the end of the day, he's really, really good at shooting the ball. And I think back to your West and East conversation. I think at the end of the day, the East is top heavy wise is the best team. I think your 1 through 3 seeds clear the West 1 through 3 seeds. I think the West,
what the rate
1 through, I would almost say 1 through 10 clears what the East has 1 through 10. Like, I think you have it a lot better top heavy in the East. I think overall the West is a more competitive conference right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say the depth of the teams that you're going to bring into the postseason. I think the West definitely beats us there.
And that's why you have a 6 seed coming out of the West and you have a 1 seed coming out of the East.
Yep.
When we were talking about how slow Luka is, little part of the game that I watched, I really thought they were going to bring out a wheelchair to help him cross the mid-court line at that one.
Did you see him before the game have the ice packs on during the anthem? Like,
he had like 3 of them on.
He had one on his chest and one on his knee, and I was like, they're really pushing this narrative. I don't think he's that hurt.
He's not hurt.
I don't think he's that hurt whatsoever. No. I think he's perfectly fine.
If he doesn't win, if the team doesn't win and he doesn't win MVP award, he might win an Oscar.
I think you have a Mavs team that's like perfectly content where they made it. I mean, it was incredibly hard to get out of that West, and Boston, by just dominating the East, feels like job's not done. And so I think that's part of what you're seeing play out. And that's part of I feel like that plays perfectly into the philosophy of not fouling the Celtics in those last 25 seconds. It's like, okay, we made it here. We're happy now. Kid's job is safe. Most of these guys' jobs are safe on this team, or they are going to secure massive extensions with other teams. I feel like the Mavs are very happy with where they're at, and I feel like Celtics feel like the job isn't done. And that's why you're seeing, honestly, the Celtic team out-hustle them. They're outplaying them in a lot of spots. The Mavs aren't slumps. I'm not going to say they're just going to kiss away this series, but they're certainly content with where they're getting here, and that's a downfall to them for sure.
I think that's a really good point. And that really does go, like you're saying, about not fouling. But, you look at some of these hustle numbers and everything we're looking at. Fast break points, 15-7 in favor of the Celtics. Total turnovers, 11-15 in favor of the Celtics. 10 steals, 2 more blocks, 8 more assists. Even though everybody shot really shit from 3 last night, Celtics still shot 10 from 39 from 3, and the Mavericks are 6 from 26. I mean, those are just the stats that come down to it. It's just what team wants it more. And it shows in how they're playing. It shows in how the team is carrying themselves throughout the whole entire game, throughout game 1 and game 2, that the Celtics they know the end goal here, and the Mavericks are like starting to get to the point where they're like, damn, this team is just better than us.
Yeah. I think Luka's still in that mindset of like, as a great player, I know I need to win a ring really, really soon to be considered among the elites. And I think that's why you see him consistently be the best team that this Mavericks team has, or be the best player that this Mavericks team has. But I think everyone else is content. Like I said, I think Kyrie's content with the narrative that's finally come around. The fact that he was considered washed goods on the Nets just a couple of years ago, and now people are considering him, to be the guy here, or one of the guys here, or one of the guys in the NBA. And I feel like everyone's content, and Luka's the only one that's really trying to win that ring because he knows how much it means to his legacy if he does get there. And sadly, the rest of this Mavericks team just isn't on the same page.
You got anything else here, Dan? Or we can move on to some baseball.
Well, what I was going to say is we leave this fantastic tournament into quickly an amazing tournament that's going on up the street from both of us. As Hanson just put himself on mute. I don't know if it's because he has the cough or he doesn't want to talk anything.
No, you got this one.
Anything about the soccer tournament that has been amazing. I've just been watching nonstop on ESPN Plus, and we had semifinals last night. He ended up having Newtown Pride, that won last year, lose it. What was it? 2v2. It's down to 2v2. Nanny FC won. And the Hoosier Army, who beat our favorite Pat McAfee's Concaifa.
Oh, I was just about to ask how far they got.
They lost to the Hoosier Army it was 0-0, and they went into the final shoot. I forget what they call it, but I think they were down to 3v3 and they lost. So it'll be Nanny FC against La Bombabera tonight at 8:30 for $1 million. $1 million. And then the women's bracket, we only had 8 teams, but it's the U.S. women against North Carolina Courage tonight. That's
kind of expected them to come out of it at least, right?
Yeah. That's for $1 million too.
Another million. Wow. Big stakes on the line. Did it on a terrible weekend in super regionals and the NBA finals starting, but good for them. I was asking about Pat McAfee's team because I think I saw it might have been Friday night when we were out. Like Boston Connor and Pat McAfee's Twitter account, they were like, CONCACAF Soccer Club is moving on. I was just like, holy shit, like maybe they're doing something here.
Yeah, no, they hit it in at the end. They've been a fantastic club. Pat pulled a hammy, so he hasn't played, but
damn.
Oh no.
Yeah,
they said they were going through it on Friday. We watched a little bit of the PMS show, and he said he was saying how he was going through it after that first game. So I'm not shocked to hear. Man, that sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been some incredible plays. There was one where the keeper was out and someone scored, I think, from roughly 40 yards out, just chipped it over the keeper. But everyone has been talking, and probably the goal, unless there's a better goal tonight, the goal of the tournament was Pat McAfee's assist to his buddy who he played with back in West Virginia in ODP, and that little scissor kick in the air score. That was absolutely the best goal.
That was a great cross. I saw multiple angles of that. Hey, for a punter, he nailed that thing right where it needed to be.
Yep, absolutely.
Very impressive by him. But all right, so you know what time that final is tonight?
8:30.
All right, won't be watching. So, moving on here, we've got Red Sox season obviously still in full swing. We did this last episode Monday, so we talked about Braves and White Sox series. I think we both said 3-3. I think we said we were going to go 0-2 to the Braves and hopefully sweep the White Sox. You said we might steal one from the Braves, which we did. The second game of the series, 9-0, and then went 2-2 against the White Sox here. Yeah. So ending with the 3-3 week, 14-2, 7-2 loss, 6-1 loss, and a 6-4 win. And it just keeps us the epitome of mid. I think at 33-33, as the Red Sox love to be throughout this year.
Yeah.
I made a joke last night with Will and Josh. I was like, hey, we keep teetering back and forth, but like we get there to 81-81, we might sneak in with a wild card.
Yeah.
Or just win a couple different ones here and there and try to get, maybe a 83 wins or an 84 wins, and that could just sneak us in there.
Hey, but with the 2 losses that we had earlier against Chicago in this series, we didn't do that back and forth. So we were 2 games below?
No, because we had won. No, because we went into yesterday 32. Oh yeah, you're right. 31-33.
Yeah.
No, it was back and forth. Because 33-33, 32-33, 31 maybe not. Does it tell me here? 32-32. Maybe not.
Because you guys lost 2 and won 2, and you came into the series at even.
Came into the series at 31-30. All right, yeah. So stick along with it. That's funny.
I hope y'all beat the crap out of the Phillies. Can I just say the Phillies are one of my most hated teams right now?
Oh, well, I hate every team that comes out of Philadelphia.
So do I. But the Phillies hold a special place in my heart. I saw a stat earlier this year on the fact that they have had 1 series this season against a team above 500. And I hope y'all. I think this is the most fraudulent team I think I've ever seen in the Phillies. I think their pitching is touted as one of these great pitching staffs right now. They currently have the number 1 ERA. I think it's purely just the fact that they've been playing absolute dog shitters. And I hope y'all take it to the Phillies. I hope y'all get at least 2 from the Phillies in this series. I don't think it's likely.
I don't think it's likely either. I was just about to say.
I want at least 1. If you guys get 1, I will be happy with what you guys did. But I hope you get 2.
So, Dad, we've got this series starting tomorrow. As we know, the Red Sox listen to our podcast, so they don't schedule games on Mondays. So we've got Phillies series starting tomorrow, 3-game series, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all at home. And then finally, June 14th is our first series against the Yankees. Kind of late this year, and that's why we do have Josh here with us. We've got a 3-game set against the Yankees Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think we're going to have Sunday Night Baseball. That is Sunday Night Baseball, 7:10. I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to go a nice 2-4 week, but knowing the Red Sox, it's going to be 3-3. What do you have, Dad?
I'm absolutely with you in it being 2-4.
2-4.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the fact that we're playing more of the games here.
And we've been terrible
at home. Yeah. So,
which is concerning. But it won't matter because we're not going to fucking host a game in the playoffs. So, the reason we bring on Josh here as a big Yankees fan, I want to give you the floor here to give us a little in-depth analysis of how bad these Yankees are going to spank the fuck out of our Sox this week and how this outlook of this team is looking for the rest of 2024.
This has probably been one of my favorite Yankees teams since Jeter was here. I think that they are really putting it all together I think the best way that you put together a team right now is having these two elite hitters like Soto and Judge together. And I think it just clears the way for both of them because it creates so much protection for them in the order. You can't walk Soto because if you walk Soto, then Judge is up. And if he hits a home run, it's a 2-run homer. The Yankees haven't had that in like probably since the Stanton days, honestly, where you had to really worry about the guy coming before or after Judge. I think Soto's done amazing. And I think our pitching staff is just disgusting. I think this is the best pitching staff the Yankees have had probably since like the Pettit days, honestly. Like it has been disgusting to see. I think Luis Gil is by far AL Rookie of the Year. I think what he has done is tremendous. And overall, our pitching staff, they get outs, and it's finally to a spot where this Yankees team isn't taxing their bullpen to try to do everything to keep them in a game when it comes to pitching. I think the starters stepping up so much and everyone I think Gil's the only one that's really having like a standout season, but I think all of them put together have been just going on this incredible run recently where it's so easy for this team to score runs. And as long as the starters end up just keeping the other team under 3 runs for the first 5 innings, it looks really good. I really like what this Yankees team have put together. And I'm just hoping that there was a little bit of trouble this weekend with the Dodgers, end up going 1-2 against them. I'm hoping that's just like not having Soto in the lineup because Boone said Soto should be back for this series that we have during the week. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but I know he'll be back in the lineup. That was just a relief because as a Yankee fan, I feel like we've had one big injury every single year. And as soon as Soto got taken out of that game with that forearm discomfort, I was like, all right, this is the guy that's going to be out for the year. I see how it is, can't have it too good. Hopefully he comes back and revitalizes this offense a little bit. We looked lost on Friday and Saturday.
And you make a good point about having those guys like the Soto and the Judge being there where you can't walk one and you keep that scary like offensive talent around. And the pitching this year, which has been absolutely phenomenal. If you look back the last like 5 years in which you look at the top of the board at the start of the year and the Yankees are one of, if not the World Series favorite. And it does come down to at the end of the year, it's either an injury on offense and they're not bringing in their full 9 or, an injury in the starting rotation where, you're loving your Garrett Cole and your second guy. And then you get deeper into those series and it's just like, damn, we're getting fucking shelled up early. This is just the perfect mix of both. And, I'll always try to root against the Yankees. But like, if there's going to be any year that's just like, fuck, dude, this is it for them, this really might be the one.
And it really feels like Cashman coming out and saying that like the $300 million payroll that we have right now is unsustainable. I'm not going to say it's do or die this year, but like I have some real doubt about us re-signing Soto. I don't think we were going to be able to compete with the number that the Mets give him. I think the only thing that keeps us in the running with these higher end teams that are going to offer him I think he probably gets somewhere around 12 years, 500 mil. I think the only thing that keeps us with those teams is the fact that I think Soto is loving New York. I think he loves the atmosphere of the crowd. He said it plenty of times. He loves playing that outfield with Judge too. Mm-hmm. They are buddy. Anytime the camera pans over to the both of them, they're talking and smiling. I think the only thing that gives us an advantage in the Soto talks is the fact that he loves being a Yankee.
And he could win a ring with this team this year.
Yeah.
How do you pitch that as a different team? Yeah. Dad, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I just think that the team is extremely deep, great positional players. I mean, I think right now you probably have in the history of the Yankees one of the best shortstops in Anthony Volpe. I mean, a Bob Does Sports fan favorite. I mean, what other shortstop is better than him in your history, Josh?
Oh man, here we go. Here we go with this blasphemy. I think he's a Jeter clone, dude. I think honestly, like he is exactly what we got out of Jeter almost. And honestly, with a little bit better defense than what Jeter always brought to the table. I think he gets the hits when he needs them. I think he's a fantastic leadoff guy. Boone has said plenty of times that out of that leadoff spot, you want someone with a 350 OBP. That's exactly what he has almost. Like if he could draw walks a little bit more, that would be great. But at the end of the day, I think the top of this lineup is good. And I think I've said this on the DFS podcast a lot. The top of every lineup is good. I think almost all around the league.
Except the Red Sox.
Even the Reds. I mean, at the end of the day, Duran, Devers, like you talk about it, you have the guys to be good in the top 4.
Yeah, we've mentioned it. We think our top 3 is good, but once 4, 5
Once you
based
get
on
to 5, 6, 7, 8,
based
9,
on like our
no.
injury
Even the White
history
Sox.
that we've
I
had.
mean,
But
you have Eloy up there. You have Lou Bob when he's healthy. Like, that's a good top 4. Like, I think you can make a case that every single team has a formidable top 4 in the batting lineup. That's just where baseball is nowadays. I think what really makes or breaks your team is who's batting after that and who's the second half of your lineup and who's, if they're doing well enough to support the top half. The Yankees all around are a dangerous team. And the fact that you get DJ LeMahieu back and you have another hitter, you have Stanton as another guy with 15 homers on this team right now. I think the Yankees have a really complete 1 through 9 that really the only team that contests with it. I wouldn't even say the Dodgers really contest with it. I think the Dodgers have the best 1 through 4 in baseball, but the bottom 5 of their lineup is atrocious. I think all of those guys, they are in this spot where they are very star heavy, and because of that, they weren't able to spend on those secondary guys. But those secondary guys are what's going to screw them at the end of the day. I think. I think this Yankee has the most complete 1 through 9 in the league right now.
You heard it here first. He thinks Anthony Volpe is better than Derek Jeter.
I did not say that. I said he's a better defender.
Is that part of the thumbnail? Is that part of the thumbnail too?
Go ahead, then.
And you have your 4th outfielder. Do we know this guy, Hanson? Alex Verdugo?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Hey, finally a trade. Finally, it's not a Jacoby Salisbury situation where we get Jacoby and he's just absolutely awful with us.
Well,
Verdugo is a stud, and they've said it plenty of times that like we have Jason Dominguez coming back from Tommy John, and they love what he brings to the table. There is simply not a spot for him on the major league roster right now because mainly Verdugo is playing some of the best baseball around. He's a fantastic defender. We actually used him as he got the Soto 2-hole when Soto was out this weekend. So like, he's a huge ball club presence too.
For somebody who probably could have helped 2 teams we just mentioned, the Dodgers and the Red Sox. I mean, he played for both of them. Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I think he's incredible. He's fun to watch. It's really weird to see him without a beard.
Yeah,
I think he's a
weird
like
child.
He's a weird baby face type dude, but he is a really big club presence for this Yankees team.
Man, I still don't understand why we traded him.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I got to say, sorry if you guys are looking at me and I'm like about to cough.
Dying.
I just threw in a Zen, a coffee Zen. And I was like, holy crap, like it hit me. I'm telling you, these Outlaws, I'm in love with these freaking things.
Oh my.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, no.
Not hashtag ad.
Yeah,
Josh,
hashtag Outlaw. I want them. Sponsor.
As an unbiased opinion here, looking ahead at this week for us, like we were saying, 2-4, possibly 3-3, like we see. What do you see from the outside here?
I think 2-4. I think 3-3. I think you guys could definitely take 2 from us, especially if Soto's not 100%. I'm perfectly happy with the run that the Yankees have gone on recently and willing to say that this might be the point that we slow down a little bit. But I think 2-4 is probably right. I think you steal 1 in both series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously you can't take talent away, but you can take records away from this. I mean, this series, for as long as baseball's been around, is the freaking series that these teams are going to get up for.
I think other teams try to say like, oh, or like other fan bases will try to say like, oh, the Cubs and like, oh, these other rivalries. Nothing competes with Yankees Red Sox.
This is the best rivalry in sports.
I think in every other league you have rivalries that are really, really close. And I think with the MLB, the Yankees and Red Sox history purely gives it the best by far. It's not close. It's not close whatsoever.
No. I think the only other sports rivalry that could rival it is Duke UNC.
Yeah.
Not
I think
even
it's up in that
Lakers
echelon.
Celtics.
Yeah, I think it's up in that. Yeah, and I think Lakers Celtics has fallen off a ton, mostly because you guys school us recently. But I think that Yankees Red Sox is, when it comes to competitiveness in a series, in a rivalry, there's nothing better.
And so I was listening to Pardon My Take, Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, we love you. Listen to us. Sign us. They were talking, though, that Major League Baseball is not doing enough, especially this. I mean, you have not heard much about this upcoming series and make a splash and try and go, hey, it's the Yankees Red Sox. Now, I'm sure we're going to see it plastered all over ESPN advertisements come Wednesday, but Major League Baseball, if you want to gain traction on your fan base, you have to push this series, and hopefully it's going to be a competitive series.
Hopefully. This gives us a good segue. Is Dad, you've got some fun trivia and stuff to pull up for us here?
I do.
I'm ready to be awful in this.
So I think this has got to be a new segment for us.
Dan, you did that
our
flawlessly.
trivia segment. Huh?
You did that flawlessly.
I'm getting comfortable with this here.
You kind of are.
So our new little segue, or new little I don't know, segment is got to be
1904.
Yeah, dude. What do you?
What the hell?
What do you expect?
It's got to be our trivia here. So
I'm gonna be guest
if
57
you
over
want to sponsor us, let's see. Last week, if you heard, and Josh, for your knowledge, we did the name a player, and you had to put them in the Patriots, Bruins, Red Sox, or Celtics. We had 4 minutes to do 20 questions, I think it was, Hanson?
24.
24. 4 minutes to do 24. We hit all four in a minute and 14, was it, or something?
Minute 18, 24 for 24.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So
I
we
got
killed
something
that.
up to here.
A little something.
A
little something. So this is just, Red Sox, Yankee rivalry questions. I think we have 20 of them here. So let's see how we do, guys. Ready?
Yep.
Let's
Go
do
ahead and read them off for us, Dan.
So in 1904, the Yankees were called the Highlanders and the Red Sox were called the Pilgrims. I do remember that time. They battled for first all the way to the last day of the season. What pitcher lost the season for the Highlanders in the 9th inning with a wild pitch? Is it Jack Chasbro, Wid Conroy, Jack Powell, or Wee Willie Killer?
I'm putting the house on Wee Willie Killer.
I'm putting the house on Wee Willie Killer as well.
It sounds like such a 1904 name.
Yeah, that's a 1904 name right there.
I was
that or Wid Conroy.
Oh, I was kind of liking Jack Powell, but I kind of like Wee Willie.
Let's
go.
Wee Willie.
What a name. I hope it's a real
Let's
person.
go.
It sounds just like a real person.
All right.
He'll be the show player.
Yeah.
Number 2, the future Hall of Famer pitched the first ever no-hitter between the two teams for Boston in 1908. He is known mainly for an award that's named after him. Is it Tris Speaker, George Modgrid, Cy Young, or Honus Wagner?
Lock it in with Cy.
Yeah, lock it in with Cy. I think
Alrighty.
the Speaker Award is not a good one. I think the Cy Young Award is definitely where it's at.
So we might be 1-1 here.
Yep.
The Red Sox originally played at the Huntington Avenue grounds, but in 1912 they finally had their own stadium. Against what team did the Red Sox get a victory in their first ever game at Fenway Park? Guys,
I can rule out Tigers because I know this from the stat that we looked up recently about when the Tigers won their World Series. I know the Tigers I think they were after 1912. So I'm going to say it's not Tigers.
I'm going to say it's not the White Sox too. Aren't they kind of doing?
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna not say the White Sox because at that time many of their players were probably arrested at this time for all of their shenanigans that they did back then.
I mean, like it's a Yankees.
It's a
Red Sox quiz. I feel
It's
like
yeah, exactly. I don't think we do the athletics.
Yeah, I like
so
it could be the athletics though. That could bite us, but
yeah. All right. The Red Sox sold Babe Ruth and all of his candy to the Yankees on December 26, 1919. This is the most famous player transaction in Major League history. For what reason did the Red Sox make the sale? Was it to pay for a new stadium? To cut payroll? The owner wanted the cash to bankroll his Broadway plays. They wanted the money to sign younger players.
You got to think payroll, right?
I would think payroll. I feel like I've heard this before when I've just in passing. I don't remember what it was though, but I feel like it was like a dumber one. So
maybe
I think it was to sign younger players.
I think it. Yeah, I think either to cut payroll or to sign younger players.
Yeah,
I think it was younger.
I think
we're going
for a new
players.
stadium because they just got the new stadium.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice process of elimination there, guys.
Yeah.
In 1923, the Yankees finally moved out of the Polo Grounds, which they had shared with the Giants, and moved into a brand new Yankee Stadium. What player hit the first home run there? Is it Earl Combs? Is it Babe Ruth? Is it Bob Musial or Wally Pipp?
You know this one?
No, I have no clue. I feel like I might have heard it in passing, but I wouldn't know it now.
It is Babe.
It's
Babe Ruth. Yeah.
Okay.
I was at that game. Which pair of brothers spent considerable time on opposite sides between New York and Boston during the 40s? Was it Lloyd and Paul Wainer? Was it Joe or Dom DiMaggio, Jason or Jeremy Giambi? No, because they were in the 80s and 90s. Brett and Aaron Boone again.
Definitely
no. Boone would have to be 100 years old as a manager right now for that to end up working out. That's awful.
Come on, guys.
Is it DiMaggio?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. Question number 7. Which Red Sox left fielder hit 406 in 1941, won the Triple Crown in 47, yet missed out on the Most Valuable Player award both years, which went to Joe DiMaggio instead? Is it Ted Williams, Bobby Dorr, Rudy York, or Johnny Pesky?
That's good old Teddy boy.
Exactly. Number 8, who managed the Yankees to 8 pennants, 7 World Series victories before retiring, only to unretire to go to the Red Sox and almost manage them to a pennant? Is it Casey Stengel, Joe McCarthy, Miller Hughes, or Joe Torre?
Miller Hughes?
Huggins, sorry.
Huggies.
It's not him.
Not Torre.
Not Torre.
I know that.
Not Joe. I think it's Casey.
I know they're all just names. Maybe a Joe McCarthy. It sounds kind of manager-esque.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Casey.
Oh, Casey. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Number 9.
Yeah.
Remember, I was watching baseball back in. Who homered off Boston's Tracy Stollard in 1961 to set what was then the major league record for home runs in a season? Was it Hank Bauer? Oh, he was awesome back then. Was it Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, or Yogi Berra?
This is Roger.
Yeah, it's definitely
This is Roger.
Guys, I'm feeling really good about this.
I'm kind of feeling. I'm feeling all right.
Feeling like we're 6 for 9, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
9.
During the 1970s, the 2 top catchers in the American League played for the Yankees and Red Sox. What were their names? Oh, come on. Mickey Rivers and Fred Lynn? No. Outfielders? Greg Nettles and Butch Hobson? Third baseman. Chris Chambliss and George Scott? No. First baseman. Was it Thurman Munson and Carlton Fisk?
I know that one.
Yeah,
we know that.
I didn't know Munson, but I knew it by Fisk. That was.
I knew it by Munson.
No. Okay, well there we go.
Yeah,
Nice. It shows our generation gap between Dad and us.
Yeah, seriously.
Exactly. And a little bit more. I remember the day that Thurman Munson died.
Yeah, you were actually alive for these questions now.
I was. Yeah. In 1978, the Yankees and Red Sox finished their season in a tie for first place. On October 2nd, they had one game playoff to decide which team would go to the playoffs. Who was the shortstop who hit 3 home runs to lead this team? Was it Brian Dole, Rick Burleson, Fred Stanley, or Bucky fucking Dent?
Okay, so I have to think it's Bucky fucking Dent because
Yeah,
you
well,
waited
he
on
says
his
that.
name.
Yeah.
You just hate Bucky fucking Dent?
No, that's what they said. He was Bucky bleeping Dent.
Probably because he hit a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
Exactly. What Red Sox player got his 3,000th base hit against the Yankees on September 12th, 1979? Was Jim Rice, Carl Yastrzemski, Dwight Evans, or Bob Stanley? Bob was a pitcher.
Okay, thanks.
There you
Well, I
go.
wasn't even going to pick him. It's between Jim and Carl here. But
I was
think
going to
it's
say Jim. I was going to say Jim. Rice.
Isn't Yaz after this?
No.
This is Yaz?
Jim Rice didn't hit his 3,000th hit probably till 84. It is Carl Yastrzemski.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
What Yankee pitcher threw a no-hitter against the Red Sox on July 4th, 1983? Ron
American.
Guidry, Dave Righetti, Goose Gossage, or Bob Shirley?
Dad, we're going to phone a friend here.
Yeah. What do you got?
Goose was obviously a reliever. Bob Shirley was a Red Sox. Dave Righetti, I don't think he came on until later and in the 90s. So I'm going to say Ron Guidry.
That sounds great.
I
That was
gonna
really
say
good.
Goose. I'm glad I didn't to embarrass myself. So you know we're cooking.
In 1986, the AL batting race was between the two best hitters on the Yankees and Red Sox. Who won the batting title that year with an average of 357? Was it Dave Henderson, Don Mattingly, Wade Boggs, or Dave Winfield? So I'm going to say that Dave Henderson, I think, just came midway through the year. He played for the California Angels at the time, so it wasn't him. Dave Winfield, I don't think ever hit that high. He might have, but not at that point, or I think it was a little bit later. And they're talking about the two best hitters in the AL was between Don Mattingly and Wade Boggs. So it's got to be between the two of them.
We're thinking Don.
I'm thinking Don too. Yeah, I don't think it was Wade. I don't think he got. I think Don Mattingly. Wade Boggs did, yeah, but I think Don finished. I think this year was the one where Wade Boggs was actually leading, and they were like, with, I don't know, 6 games left in the year, do you want to sit and not have to play and you'll win? And he was like, no, I'm going to play. And I think lost out.
Damn.
In 1995 was the first year in which the Yankees and Red Sox both made the playoffs in the same season. Is that true or false?
Wow, that seems so late.
Dude, but you got to also consider, when did they actually implement the wild card into the playoffs? Because until then, there was no chance for them to make the playoffs.
So yeah, that might be true.
Yeah, because I mean, for the longest time, you only had two.
4.
Yeah. Or 2 conferences or whatever, and then you broke it into 4, and then when you end up having the wild card part. So yeah, let's say true.
Okay.
Question number 16. What Red Sox shortstop started in 1999 All-Star Game after a very controversial election? Was it Nomar Garciaparra? Was it Spike Owen, Rick Burleson, or Rico Petrocelli?
Is it friend of the pod, Nomar?
I think it's friend of the pod, Nomar, but almost kind of scary, though. Spike Owen was playing shortstop for us during this time, or around this time. So I'm almost like, ooh, was it Spike? But yeah,
I
let's
think
go.
it's still Nomar. This is when he came around, right? A little before 2000 from the Dodgers? Or after. He went after. Never mind.
He went to the Dodgers after, yeah. Yeah, let's go Nomar. I'm almost worried though with Spy going. I'm almost worried. What Red Sox pitcher threw a one-hitter against the Yankees on September 10th, 1999? Brett Saberhagen, Tim Wakefield,
Rest in peace.
Pedro Martinez, or Ramon Martinez. Ramon did actually play for us for a little bit, but no, he didn't do that.
I mean, Pedro, right?
It's got to be
Yeah.
Pedro.
It's got to
I
be
feel
Pedro.
I feel like it couldn't also be Tim
It
Wakefield.
could have been a weird Tim Wakefield game.
I-
Just all knuckleballs, one hitter.
Yeah, but I'm wondering though, 99 if Tim wasn't still with the Pittsburgh Pirates at this point. And Brett Saberhagen did come and play with us after the Kansas City Royals, and he might have been a Royal at that point. So I like Pedro. Number 18, in 1999, the Yankees and Red Sox finally played each other in the postseason for the first time in the American League Championship Series. Who was the MVP of that series? Orlando Hernandez, Bernie Williams, Mariano Rivera, or Rod Beck. We could take two of those out right away. So it's either Bernie or Mariano.
Gotta be Bernie.
I'm
right?
thinking.
I'm going to
it
think
has to be
Bernie.
Bernie.
I think it
Yeah.
has to be Bernie.
All right. Number 19. What do Sparky Lyle, Wade Boggs, and Roger Clemens all have in common?
Well, that's
Is
sick
it-
names.
Is it steroids? No, not. I'm sorry. All through no hitters. Nope. Left the Red Sox and eventually won a World Series with the Yankees. All of them were outfielders. All were born in Boston, but eventually moved to Alaska.
It's all left the Red Sox and eventually
Yeah.
won a World Series with the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
None of those like
I know
Yeah.
none of them. I know. Yeah, I
Clemens
know.
wasn't an outfielder.
They all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All no hitters.
Yeah.
Unless,
And they weren't born here. I mean, Roger was born in Texas. So
there you go.
Yeah, and then why'd you go to Alaska?
yeah. Like, what a weird question. What a weird answer.
And our last, among the following Yankee and Red Sox greats, who received the American League MVP first? Was it Tris Speaker, Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, or Lou Gehrig?
A lot of good names there, but I got to think Babe.
I think timeline wise, it has to be. Babe,
Yeah, that's what I'm
right?
saying.
As long as they had the AL MVP at that point.
That's my only concern. Because if not, maybe Lou.
Yeah,
and
maybe
then
Lou
Ted.
or Ted. Yeah. I don't know if they had the AL MVP when Babe was around.
Dad, do you know? You were watching this when they probably awarded him, right?
Yeah, exactly. And time-wise, I think you would put Tris Speaker over, but I like your guys' point because I don't think we really had American League, National League at that point. So let's go Lou Gehrig.
I like that.
All right, let's see where we
Oh,
are.
God. Moment of truth.
Do I have to do this?
It says optional. Just press
Oh,
the
okay.
answers.
Okay.
We'll have to go to the bottom to see.
First one, it wasn't Wee Willie.
Oh,
Damn.
Willie, man.
So we were 1-1. Cy Young, we got that. The Yankees, we got that.
See,
the
that's
guy
what I'm
wanted
saying.
the-
It was
Oh,
a
the
funky one.
Broadway.
I remember that like it was
Oh.
somewhat funky what they wanted to do with the money to
Yep.
Okay.
because it was a silly like how they do this for that reason.
Yeah. All right, 2-2.
Babe Ruth did hit the first home run. It was Joe and Dom. Yep. Ted Williams got that. Oh, Joe McCarthy. Oh, you said
Dad, we
that.
got that
Right.
one.
Oh,
Oh my God.
all right. Roger
Joe
Maris,
Yeah.
Thurman and Carlton, Bucky effing Dent, Carl Yastrzemski got that one, guys. Oh, it was Dave Righetti. Ooh.
Mm.
Okay. It was Wade Boggs over Don Mattingly.
Wow.
Boggs was a hits guy too. Like,
He
it makes
Damn.
sense.
True, Nomar, Pedro, Orlando
Wow,
Hernandez.
really?
Oh my God, over Bernie Williams and yet left and Chris Speaker.
Chris.
I remember
You're
watching
right,
him.
it was Triz.
So we were 13 for 20, guys.
Not,
All right.
not the worst performance, not the best
No.
performance.
Yeah, not too bad.
No.
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
right below average. That's where
Is that actually? Yeah, right below average.
right
Damn,
below
all right.
average.
All right. You know,
I mean, but we did say 2 of that. Yeah, so we could have went 50.
I mean, dude, if we had any questions in the 2000s, we were hitting at least 16 out of 20 here.
Yeah,
Like,
I
we
know.
didn't have a single question in
Single
2000s.
question from the 2000s.
Well, all right. Maybe this segment doesn't last if we keep on doing this bad.
You want to pull up this fun facts one, Dan?
Yeah.
And go through some of these?
Oh, I don't have that. Sorry.
You don't? I've got it here.
All right.
All right. 5 fun facts about Yankees and Red Sox rivalry. Welcome to the greatest rivalry in sports. Let's face it, every Yankees-Red Sox matchup is a big deal, and tonight's series finale is no different. Both teams in the playoff hunt winner tonight's. So this is time sensitive. That was in 2021.
Yeah.
So that was the winner of the game. I think you guys ended up winning that one, right?
I think so.
History of these teams goes way back to 1903, except they weren't called the Yankees and the Red Sox. We just figured this out. Oh, it was the Boston Americans and the New York Highlanders. We won 6-2 in the first ever meeting, May 7th, 1903. Yankees back in 2021 at this point led the all-time series. The Red Sox actually had the edge on the season. So this is time sensitive. Dad, did you do it? Did you do a check on these? Did you just see a website and you're like, fuck it, we'll throw it in there?
Exactly. Yeah, I did.
So the rivalry has a curse. It all started when the Red Sox sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees for $100K late in 1919 to fund some Broadway plays.
Yeah.
Together, Babe and the Yankees would win 4 World Series, while the Red Sox wouldn't win another one until 2004. We know that curse was broken because we hear it in the intro that we have today.
Yes.
And for division rivals who play each other at least 20 times a game, 20 games a season, Yankees and Red Sox have actually only met in the playoffs 4 times. Each team has won 2 series, with the Sox going on to win the World Series both times they defeated the Yankees. That's nice.
That's good to know.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
As long as we go 81 and get in.
Yeah, we'd have to actually beat them.
Real question before we start this trivia, and I know we're going a little bit off here, but do you guys think that you'll make some moves at the deadline to actually compete? Like, where do you think your guys' trade deadline is going to end up being?
I don't think we'll make any moves. I think it's more so just hoping. What, Dad? We've talked about this in past episodes. Yeah. Like a Marcelo Mayer.
Nick York just moved. It was called up to AAA.
Donovan.
Yeah. I think if anything, it's getting some of these young. I mean, Tristan Casas will be back, so you could say that was a trade deadline move. So, yeah, I think it's bringing up some of these other players. Hopefully, yes, I think the only trade we do make is Kenley is going to be gone. We wish it would go to that kid down in Atlanta. We love that.
No, that was in LA. Oh. That was back to the Dodgers. It was I can't remember. It was some prospect who's like second baseman, third shortstop, infielder guy that has been rumored that has yet to go through, but we were really hoping we were going to have that news last week.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is, can we get someone to be in shortstop so that Rafaela can move into center field on a more regular basis?
And if that's the case, I mean, we're going to have Yoshida coming back sometime soon. He just started playing back with Worcester this weekend.
Yeah. Troy O'Neill.
Yeah. Tyler
O'Neill. Or Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah. This was the same guy last week. You were like, well, we could trade him at the deadline, and now you don't remember his name?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't expect us really to be buyers. I could expect us possibly to be sellers if we're a little under that 500 point, but I guess we'll just have to go ahead and see how the rest of the outlook for the AL and that wild card spot's looking around that time. So
I think the Yankees are kind of in the same mindset. I don't really think we're going to be buyers, surprisingly, this year. I think maybe you see us go get a good bullpen arm, but I think similar to how you guys are viewing the Casas thing as your trade deadline deal of getting someone back, I think the Yankees are considering it the same with Cole, where their trade deadline move is getting the AL Cy Young Award winner last year coming back into the rotation again.
And then even if they don't, like we've talked about off this, even if they don't go and get a bullpen arm, that could potentially move Gil into the bullpen. And then that's your great bullpen splash arm at the deadline too. So, Okay, so for our last thing here, looks like we've got shout out Trivia Crack. What a freaking throwback here.
Yeah.
We got 5 levels, I think. Maybe a little ooh. We've got a couple more. All right, so it might be as far as we can go. Red Sox Yankees rivalry. Go ahead and play this now. I can't remember if this one is gonna have like a timer on it, so let's try to be a little quick here. Dad, you can see the screen, everything fine?
Yes, I can.
All right, let's go. What's the name of the Red Sox most recent owner? Oh, I would love to know.
John Henry.
We got 9. Huh?
Well, John Henry and Tom Warner.
Yeah.
John Henry, yep.
Definitely wasn't Steinbrenner, that's for
Boom.
sure.
Nailed that. All right, so we do have like 15 seconds. So we can't read these.
And we have 3 lives too. We
Okay.
gotta make sure to get it right.
What's the name of the Yankees' most recent owner?
Steinbrenner.
There we go.
Easy peasy.
What year did the Red Sox and Yankees first face off? We just found this out, 1903, right?
Yep.
We're kicking ass. What's the name of the Red Sox home stadium? This is a fucking layup.
Yeah. I can see why this is level 1.
Yeah, seriously. What's the name of the Yankees home stadium?
Yankee Stadium.
We're killing it. Level 1, easy peasy. 50 points.
Levels.
49. All right, we'll go until we die, I guess.
Yeah.
Level 2. What's the name of the Red Sox most recent American League pennant win? The name? You mean the year?
Yeah.
18.
What is the year? 2018.
What is the name?
What is the name?
I don't know.
What is the name of the Yankees' most recent pennant win? 2013, right?
13? Yeah.
No.
Oh, no!
All right, we still got lives.
Was that the year? What was 2013?
I thought it was. Isn't that the last year? No. That's not the last year.
I'm trying to think of like the other World Series. Well, 2013 was us. That's why it wasn't. 2013 was us against the Cards.
There you go.
Okay. What is the name of the Red Sox most recent division title win? 2018 still.
Yep.
It's probably going to be the Yankees' most recent division title. Oh, no. Most recent World Series win. We just did this one too. 2018. 2018 is a great year for us.
Yeah.
Most recent World Series win for you. That 07?
2007.
Yep.
What? That's not right.
Oh.
Is it?
Did you guys win in 09 too?
Yeah, we won in 09.
It's a fucked question here. 2004 was us. They must have messed that one up.
They messed up.
Wow, they got rid of one of our hearts for no reason here.
Not our fault.
Not our fault. Oh, we'll need to get these right to go to the next level here. All right, guys. Try it again.
2018.
We know these. This one.
We also know this is wrong because we know that they just did it. We know that they did it in 2010, right?
Yeah, but what was the
right answer was 2007
All
on
right.
this, but this is wrong.
Yeah, this is wrong.
I did see the comments over here saying, yo, this site shit or what? And
same repeat questions, boring. Sup, bro, skibbities. Oh my god.
All right.
Most recent World Series, 2018. Yankees' most recent World Series. This one was
2004. Yep.
Yeah,
but wrong.
But that's wrong. All right, nice. We're experts at wrong questions. Let's go.
Wrong question. It doesn't give me a lot of faith in these next questions.
Yeah,
but...
level 3, and I think we got one more heart to go here. Oh, we got 3.
We got them all back.
Most recent division title win for the Yankees.
Was in 2018. 2007.
What do we know now? I don't.
I guess 2004 maybe is what they'll say, but
fuck. So that one's 13, but that's still wrong.
I don't like trivia crack. Yeah,
this is a bad one.
This is bad.
If we don't get through this, I think trivia crack is out.
Alex Cora, the name of the most recent Red Sox manager, most recent Yankees manager. This should be Aaron Boone. These are all.
This might be outdated
could be
a little bit.
Yeah,
but
Girardi.
No, yeah, it's Girardi. Probably, but
I mean, if they had 2018, wasn't
sure
Boone there at that point?
2018
when we won,
so.
Or was he like 2019?
I think it was 2019.
Okay,
or even 2020.
Most recent general manager for the Sox. That is, well, it could be 2 here. I want to say Dave, and hopefully it's right, but it could be Theo because it's outdated. We're good.
There you go.
They wouldn't put Dave's name on here unless it was right.
Yeah,
Name the Yankees' most recent general manager.
Cashman.
Bang.
If it was anyone else, I would have been very upset. I would have been extremely upset.
All right, next level.
Next level.
Name of the Red Sox mascot, Dad?
That is Wally.
There you go. Was really hoping you weren't going to butcher that one. Yankees mascot?
I have no clue.
I have no fucking idea. Dad?
Lucille,
Not Billy
maybe?
the Marlin.
Not Bernie the Brewer.
Lucille.
Right?
Well, it's got to be Lucille.
It's got to be
Lucille?
Lucille.
What?
Billy the Marlin is the Yankees mascot.
There's
I don't
no
believe
way.
that.
All right. Yeah,
I'm looking this up.
I think Trivia Crack is.
That's a
Literally the
Marlins.
Marlins mascot.
Yeah.
Fuck
I think
this.
Trivia Crack.
All right, we're not doing Trivia Crack.
Trivia Craig, we're calling that one. That was
That's
terrible.
awful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was fun. We're good here. Josh, do you have anything else before we sign off here?
No, thanks for having me on the show. Had a lot of fun talking sports and talking about your guys' Celtics and all that. Good
Hey,
luck to you
Josh.
guys. I think
Yeah,
it's gonna go
Josh.
well.
How can our fan base, which is growing by the minute, listen to you? Where can they listen to you?
Yeah, anything you want to find with me and what I do for daily fantasy sports, you can go check out my Twitter handle at RotoRadarRhymer. And every weekday I do a DFS podcast with my buddy in the company, and that is at On the Roto Radar if you want to tune into those.
Awesome. Maybe we can put that in the
Oh yeah, I'll have all of this stuff linked.
the
for
links.
sure.
They say
Yeah.
that, right? Is that what the kids say? The links?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do have
that's
to
what the
tell him.
kids say.
Remember, he was here to see the 1903 game.
That's
so-
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dude's 121 fucking years old at this point. Dad, you got anything before we sign off here?
No. I just want to thank Josh for coming on, and definitely thank. I mean, I don't know about you, Hanson, but I'm absolutely thrilled with what we decided to do, and after talking about this for almost a year, finally doing it. So just we're very thankful for our listeners. So thank you.
Very much so. Thank you guys for listening every week, but especially this one. Hopefully you had some fun listening to it with our surprise guest impromptu guest we got on Saturday. But hopefully it brought a nice side to the Yankees Red Sox rivalry coming up. Hopefully we have a good competitive series to look forward to and watch. And we'll be back next week to recap it and hopefully talk about the Celtics as NBA champions potentially. Who knows? We'll see how the rest of the series goes. But good luck, C's. Good luck, Sox. Let's have a good week. And we'll get out of here, Dan. Thank you guys for listening to episode 23 of a New Era podcast. And we will catch you guys next week.
Love you, son.
Love you, Dad.